everybody, this is Saurus001 and I'm here to talk about what happens when you reach Fleet Admiral and the difficulty spike that comes with it. So we have a triple problem in our fleet starbase at the moment apparently. Someone must have let a tribble in here and he's obviously through our food supplies and made more tribbles. But what I'm going to talk about is when you hit level 65 and you become a Fleet Admiral, it's very difficult to actually know how to handle the enemies at that difficulty level because it's so much harder than when you were leveling. The the spike in difficulty is just so big. But a few tips that I've got for you are. You could repeat missions that have good rewards. You can go back and do the same mission over and over again until you get all the rewards that you want from it. That's probably one of my most valuable tips for when you hit 65. Now you don't need a T6 ship. I mean, I have a couple of T6 ships, but you don't need a T6 ship to still be effective in the end game. The only thing that the T6 ship really does for you is these little unlocks, like this gives me 15% damage to exotic, 10% shield hit points, shield healing, but you don't actually need that. It really relies a lot more on your abilities and how they're set up, and your starship traits and your personal traits, your ground traits and your space traits. Like astrophysicist, starship particle generators, flow capacitors, sensors, but you can get beam weapon damage, 5% bonus to weapon damage, maximum hull hit points, cannon weapon damage. You can get increased damage based on team size, so this is good for running TFOs and things like that. Threat and outgoing hull healing, so you have more threat generation. That's if you're a tank, and if you're like science or a tactical officer, then you want threat and crit severity. Now, when you're looking for items, like starship traits, you only get those from T6 upgrades, but you don't really need them. As I said, they're minimal buffs. Like, look at this buff. It's just 50% starship hull penetration, plus 50% starship hull penetration, which isn't really that much. Nanite Cloud, 179 hit points. Your ship has like 50,000 hit points. It really doesn't make a difference. 5% bonus kinetic damage. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. As I said, all this stuff just it doesn't really make much of a difference. So, but these things, the space reputations and stuff, you get those from leveling up your reputation. And you do these dailies, and you can also do hourlies as well. And it does two things for you. One, it gives you this requisition package, and I wonder if it'll let me have a requisition package. Yeah, well, here's an hourly requisition package, and you can do this every hour, and it's got that package. Once it actually arrives, there it is, and you right click it and use it, and it gives you a high tier item. Now, all of the equipment that spawns in this game starts out at level 12. You have to upgrade it to level 15 if you want it to be at its best. So I'll just show you real quick. I wonder if I've got any of them. Hang on. Yeah, ground gear. Is that weapons? Yeah. Okay. I'll just show you real quick how you do this. So you select the item and you go upgrade the item, and then what you do is you click in this tech upgrade thing and you put in your ground tech upgrade, and see how it gives you points there. Well, you need a certain amount of points to upgrade the quality level. So it also gives you a chance of a quality improvement, which is only like 1% or something. It's something this high. But if I were to throw in, say, this neutronium armor, oh no, I don't have. Okay, that one's not going to work. What about that one? No, I've only got the ultimate tech upgrade. upgrade for that. No, I've only got the ultimate tech upgrade for that. There we go. Superior beam upgrade. So this is a level 8 item. This will actually put it through an entire level with just one tech upgrade. So when you're going from level 8, and the thing is, it gives you a 5% chance. Now the lower the level that you're upgrading, the higher the percentage chance of it upgrading to a higher tier item, to a higher quality item, you'll have when you're upgrading the item. I don't actually have anything below epic really apart from that, but yeah, and I don't have any things for that at the moment, so that's not going to work. Clear the slot, but that's how you do it. You can upgrade these things, and you can do them in pieces. Like I'll show you on my, I think it's this one. Yeah. So, oh, I have to unequip it. So, this is 216,000 out of 800,000. It's been sitting there for a while. It's almost at the maximum level. But once you get it to level 15, this rarity, this quality upgrade increases every time you fill that bar until the quality increases, and then it drops back, and then it increases every time you fill the bar. So you can get your epic items like that. You can get your legendary items like that. It's really it just takes time. It's just one of those things that you're gonna have to work out over time. But I better put that shield back on so that I don't fly into combat without a shield. These are fleet reinforced weapons. Now these are ultra rare fleet reinforced items. These are ultra rare items when you get them. So you don't have to upgrade them past that point if you don't want to. And I'm here at the Fleet Starbase because I'm just going to show you where you can get said items. I think it's this one. Is it this one? No, that's... must be this one. Is it this one? Am I on the wrong ship? Oh, probably on the wrong ship. I'll show you the ground items then. So if you go in here, in your Fleet Starbase, they have this equipment vendor. So you get these fleet marks, which if you don't know what they're for, you go into your fleet tab, and like you've got to be in a fleet obviously, and you go into your fleet tab. We're a pretty old fleet, which is why we're such a high level, and there'll be projects going on in here. Now if there aren't any projects going on in there, just ask an officer to put up a project or something that you can contribute fleet marks for, and you'll end up with fleet credits. Now with fleet credits, oh yeah, this is the right place, yeah. So you need two things. You need fleet credits and you need dilithium to do this with. So I've only got 8,000 dilithium because I oh, actually that reminds me. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, gotta do that. Yeah, I've got to contribute dilithium to this. I accidentally contributed all my delta marks to it earlier today. I was not happy when I found out because my reputation tiered up, and if you
I don't want to waste your
just
time
click
with
through it really quick like I normally do.
At a later time.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So you gave me 32,000 dilithium, 40,000 energy, 750 delta marks.
Hello.
Yeah,
Would you have time?
okay. So I'll just fill that. I should still have some delta marks left over after that. So when you're talking to these guys, just take a look at the actual item. You can hover over it, or I don't know how you inspect it on a console or anything like that, but just hover over it and you can see what it does. It's already got ultra rare upgrades. See, every rarity of an item adds one extra proc for the item. So that's why you want the higher rarity items. Let's see, elite weapons. Okay, so here's some combat impulse engines. And you can see that it's actually a pretty powerful item. It gives you a plus 3.8 weapon power, plus 3.8 shield power, plus 3.8 auxiliary power. So it's a pretty powerful little item, and these are the way that you start to gear up for the end game. And all you have to do to get fleet marks is select fleet marks when you finish your TFOs. But you can do. I've got the Solanae set, which, if you'll take a look, um, grants all of your energy weapon attacks 2.5% to repair your hull for 100% of the damage they deal, which may not sound significant, but it's 2.5% of the time when I'm firing a weapon, which, by the way, each cycle of a weapon it fires usually 3 or 4 times. So you probably got about a 10% chance every time you fire a weapon. Well, we'll call it a 6% chance every time you fire a weapon that you're going to get the weapon damage from that weapon applied to your hull. So it can only trigger once per second, which is fine. But in a fight, it just gives you that little bit of an extra upgrade to your items. Now, I can't get the last piece of this set, which I really want, which is why I subsidized with this fleet, advanced fleet reinforced warp core, because the warp core is actually the last piece of this set, and I can't get it. I'm not even sure if it exists in the game anymore. It was one of those original piece items that I'm not even sure that you can get it anymore. But when you're looking at these, look at the A to S, or the S to W, or the S to A, or the W to E. W to E or W to S is usually what most people go with if they're weapons experts. What it means is that 7.5, this is an A to S, so 7.5% of my auxiliary power goes into my shields, which is why my shields are so high. But since I deal all my damage with auxiliary power, I basically just use the auxiliary power always being on maximum to benefit my shields so that I can survive longer. Now, the different levels of shields, if your shields is at 50%, you've got 100% regeneration rate on your shields, and it also reduces the damage coming in if your shields are at 50. If your shields are at 75, you've got 150% of that, and if your shields are at 100, then you've got 200% of that, and so on and so forth. For every 25 increment, you get that little bit more performance. So don't be afraid to switch between different aspects of your ship while you're fighting. Like if you find that you're taking too much damage, put your power into your shields. If you find that you need to get out of there in a hurry, put your power into your engines and stuff like that. You've got to be able to micromanage it sometimes just to get by. Don't just set all the weapons and think that that's going to do it, because you have to actually pilot your ship. The chronometric polaron beam array, I take this because of its bonuses. So you can get lots of sets like this. See, it's got a 3.8 auxiliary power setting, and I'm all about auxiliary. Like the fleet warp core that I've got means that my auxiliary power can go over 125, and my shield power, by the way. So that means that I think my maximum auxiliary power is about 130, and I just buff it out from there. So yeah, the kinetic cutting beam is a really good way to start out your quest for higher tier items and being able to take on the end game content. The kinetic cutting beam is basically the best torpedo weapon you have. I use 3 torpedoes on the front because they're all on different cooldowns, and like one of them's 12 seconds, one of them's 20 seconds, one of them's 6 seconds, and stuff like that. But because I'm using so much auxiliary uh, for my damage, I don't need power into my weapons because a photon will always deal the damage of the torpedo. It doesn't matter how much power you put into weapons for torpedoes, it will always deal the damage of the torpedo. So the kinetic cutting beam is much the same. Except, look at this, it's 1082 kinetic damage, 811.5 DPS. Now that's insane. I mean, these are the torpedoes. That's only 539.2 DPS. So it's 50% better again than the best torpedo that I have. And torpedoes deal more damage than energy weapons. So that's a strange thing that you weren't aware of. These are two items that I always keep on my ship. I don't know why. I never put them down. Neutronium alloy gives you a plus 23 damage resistance rating to everything. And the monotanium alloy, I just happen to have the PAX variant. The monotanium alloy is plus 47.5 physical and kinetic damage resistance, which means when your shields are down and they're firing torpedoes at you, you're taking a lot less damage from it. I got this by an unusual gel pack because it gives me a cooldown on my bridge officer abilities and 2.4 power to all subsystems. And I've got the efficient biocircuitry as a side effect because I'm also running a neutronic torpedo launcher, which is that one. There's also these. These are, well, you can get different variants of this, but this is an exotic particle generator, but it gives you maximum shield capacity. Now, I'm just running 5 of these. I've just got exotic particle generator, maximum shield capacity, and I'm just running 5 of these, and one of them's legendary. So these are probably the best thing for survivability you can have, and I don't know about these two items. They help, but they help a little bit, and every little bit helps. Tacticals, I just fill up with universal consoles, basically, because I don't care about increasing my weapon damage or anything like that. So I just basically use universal consoles, and I've got a hang and bang on this ship, but I don't have it on my other ship. So that's some of the things, but yeah, traits. Traits are one of the main things that you want to start working on. Now you get these from missions and things like that, and that's what you really want to work on, and your reputation. And it's slow. It's slow. It takes a while to actually get anywhere. But with these few tips that I've shown you today, you should be able to take out the enemies in the end game content quite easily. It like for me, I take down an entire group of ships in about 10 seconds these days, but that's just me. Some people it's a little bit harder, but I just thought this would help because, oh, and by the way, a month ago I could do none of that. I'd never really bothered looking into how to build my ship correctly or anything like that. I was just fire all phases. But then I looked into how to actually pilot a science ship correctly, and I was just cleaning up after that. So whatever spec you are, just go to YouTube and just watch a video on how to run that spec, and you will learn a lot. I spent about 2 weeks actually gearing up with all the stuff, so that I could use my ship correctly. After I learned that the way that I was doing it just wasn't working out. And yeah, now I'm just OP. I better put my warp core back on my ship, hadn't I? That might help. Oh, no, that's not my warp core. Never mind. Alrighty, well, I hope this has been slightly helpful. I'll try to make some more videos in the future as I as I um, think of more things that I can add to this. But for now, just start working on getting your set items. And as I said, you can run the same missions over and over again just to get the items that you're looking for. If you need to buy items, buy them at 12 and upgrade them. The upgrades will cost you far less than having to buy them at 15. Okay. Alright, I hope this has been helpful. This is Saurus 001 signing off.